Should I get my home pre-inspected before I list it on the market? Good morning, everybody. It's Karen Schaefer with another episode of On the Treadmill with Karen, except for today I am not on the treadmill. So today we are in the hotel room with Karen, which, as I say that out loud, sounds just a little bit creepy, but y'all know what I mean. I'm at a conference right now in Nashville, learning great marketing skills that we can apply on all of your homes. So I'm super excited about that, and I'll share a lot of information about that with you as well. But today I want to talk about whether or not you should get your home pre-inspected before you put it on the market. And there's kind of two schools of thought here, and I want to share a couple stories with you. I had a client that recently bought a home for just over $1 million, and the seller had already had it pre-inspected by a very credible home inspector. They also had a very credible listing agent, so everything was good and on the up and up and good quality, etc. But as we went through the house, it's so big and there were so many special things about this home that I had recommended to my buyer to go ahead and have their own inspection. And the listing agent and the seller were quite surprised by my recommendation, since the home inspector was already a very good, well-qualified home inspector. And I just always feel like, you know what, though, sometimes I have to play the human card, and so why wouldn't a home inspector? Why wouldn't every once in a while they miss something, or maybe it's not on their checklist, or it's not their area of expertise? And so I always think, gosh, would you sacrifice that $500 or $600, depending on how much home inspection you actually get, for peace of mind, for the human card, for somebody else not seeing something? And so I had recommended it. And as it turns out, my folks decided, because I try really hard to build a very strong and trusting relationship, they said, you know what, Karen, we're going to go ahead and get the home inspection with another home inspector. And I said, that's great. Then we can compare the two inspections. Well, the new home inspector actually discovered a structural condition that was about a $10,000 repair. It was something the previous home inspector completely missed. We all think he acted with credibility. No one questioned that. It was just the human card. And so basically, they ended up paying about $500 for this other home inspection and found a $10,000 repair that the seller, of course, agreed to repair because they were good sellers and said, we just didn't know. But that can happen. So I want you guys to know, sometimes it's really important. Now, like I said, there's pros and cons. A pre-inspection sometimes can be less detailed than an actual inspection. And the reason that I say this is not because, somebody's like, oh, well, big deal, it's a pre-inspection. It's because maybe the seller didn't order radon testing or meth testing or mold testing or lead-based paint testing or any of those things. So maybe that's less detailed than what you would want as a buyer. The nice thing about a pre-inspection for the seller, I think, is that it allows a seller to fix a few items that maybe they weren't aware of, because we all live in our homes. We get used to, hey, that light keeps going out. Let me just turn it back on. We get used to those things. We forget about them. And so sometimes it allows a seller to fix things initially, and sometimes more cost effectively. What if, the light socket, the light switch plate needs to be changed because it's cracked? Well, a listing agent's going to want somebody that's a licensed electrician to do that. But that light switch plate is just a screw and a little plastic plate that you can get for 19 cents at Home Depot. And so you can actually change that now. So there's a few things, that you may be able to do more cost effectively. Hi guys, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. Hey Pete. Pete's always here. I'm so glad. Hey Frederick, how are you today? Thanks guys for joining me. So basically the other thing that I think it does, and this is kind of a plus for a listing agent and a seller, is that it allows for checks and balances. So if you have a seller that's really not aware of a lot of things going on in their house, or maybe they're unrealistic about a lot of things, it might be, that fresh cup of coffee for them in the morning that says, hey, look, you really do have several health and safety issues that need to be addressed prior to listing this on the market. So, those are some of the pros. It can be a good selling feature. I don't know in our market right now in the Ute Pass and Teller County and Colorado Springs if we need those selling features. But if the house is in poor condition, it also might be a really great way to say, hey, look, we know this house looks rough, but structurally it's sound, or, you know, here's all the information on all the mechanicals, or here's what's been fixed. So, you know, as far as getting your home pre-inspected before it's listed, I don't know that you need to right now in our market because it's so hot. But, you know, there are pros and cons to it. So I hope this information has been useful for you. If you have questions about it, please feel free to message me below. I'd love to hear from you guys. If you would like a specific customized valuation on your Teller County or El Paso County home, just click on the link below. I'm more than happy to do that and get it started for you. It's an ever-changing market, so it's kind of nice just to keep up to date on the value of your home. And don't forget about every single Wednesday at A to Z Storage from 9 to 1, where you can drop off clean flattened boxes or pick them up for moving, and it's all free. So you guys, once again, this is Karen Schaefer with RE/MAX Properties and Peak Price Colorado. Thanks for joining me, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.